Did you know you can build a snowflake with some Christmas trees? Let me show you. I'm starting with 3 layers of Post-it tape. Then for some symmetry, I folded them in half and I drew kind of a half Christmas tree shape. Doesn't matter what it looks like, just kind of 3 triangles with a stump at the bottom. Because I cut them all at once, they'll all be the same and that's all that matters. Once they were cut out, I peeled them apart and I placed them down on my cardstock. If you think about 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock, that'll help you space them pretty evenly. Then I went back and I did the whole thing again. This time my tree was a little fatter. These 3 won't be the exact same as the first 3, but that's okay. Because they'll be in between the other 3, the snowflake will still look balanced. I decided because they were fatter, I would fold them back up and cut a little bit out of the center to get a different look, maybe a little more delicate. I cut a half triangle from the center, which of course will open up into a full triangle. And then I placed these 3 on my cardstock at 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. And then I liked that so much better, I peeled up the first 3 and I put them back together and cut another triangle from them. This time I cut it with an angled bottom to give me kind of an arrowhead cutout shape once they were opened up. I decided to add a dot mask to the center of my snowflake as well, and I cut that from a full sticky back Post-it note and I put that down. Then I burnished them all so that they'll stay flat for the next step. I even got out another piece of cardstock and I put that down over top and burnished it, and that helped me make sure I wasn't going to catch any of the edges of my little hollow Christmas trees. Then I started my ink blending. I wanted kind of a night sky look, so I used some blue ink in my blending brush. I've got my panel on a grip mat on top of a rotating platform. This is a game changer if you like to ink blend or color. The grip mat holds the cardstock in place and it sticks pretty well to the platform. Once you're all set up, the ability to turn your surface so that you can comfortably color or blend your ink makes such a big difference. If you wanted, you could change this simple design by going old school and cutting out a full snowflake. Remember how we used to fold up the paper and cut out little shapes when we were kids? Or you could die cut a snowflake. I just love the idea of making a Christmas card that's totally unique because I made it with my own 2 hands. And if you don't love ink blending, you could use sprays. That would be quick and easy. Or you can watercolor your background. With both these methods, though, I would say try to work quickly because the Post-it tape masks will soak up the liquid and be hard to remove. Or even worse, they might soak right through and not give you a masked snowflake at all. I added some darker blue around the edges, letting it fade to the center so my snowflake will have a bit of a glow. The nice thing about blending a night sky like this is that it doesn't have to be smooth or perfect. In fact, the more kind of blotchy it is, the more it looks like a sky. When I was happy with it, I peeled off my little handmade masks to reveal my snowflake. It has a rustic homemade look that's totally unique. Here's a shot of some of the other cards I made in a similar way, but with the reverse of this technique. Instead of cutting out a shape and using it as a mask, I cut out the shape and used the rest of the Post-it note as a stencil. I've got triangle trees that I created just with masking tape, a wreath made with circles with a fun bow made out of triangles, and some ornaments that look dimensional because of the way I blended my inks. I finished them all with some iridescent shimmer spray and silver watercolor splatter. If you ever have any doubts about your ink blending, this is your answer. The spray softens the blends and the splatter distracts from any rough spots. I started thinking maybe I had the trees facing the wrong direction, so I went back and made another one with the tree tips pointing out this time. Maybe this looks a little more like a snowflake. I also added some pink for a different look. I spritzed and splattered this one before I removed the masks, and you can see even that little bit of moisture made the masks a little damp and trickier to remove. And of course, you could add sentiments to these, but I think that snowflake cards don't necessarily need them. And plus, this way they can work all winter long, even beyond Christmas. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how simple handmade shapes can be used to make unique holiday cards. This technique could work for other occasions too, or even to make patterns. So if you want to take a break from stamps and dies and really explore your own imagination, this is a fun way to do that. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.